This is a setup. Got our camp boxes. Of course, thermocells. Kind of need them here. Mosquitoes are a little rough. The stove. The chuck box. We brought the bikes. A little firewood. And this is Blue Springs State Park. Glad you guys could be with us here today. Well, getting ready to go out and enjoy the Blue Springs State Park. Time to load up the creek boat. Kind of sped the video up as the process unfolds of getting ready to head out. And then here we are at the launch area, which was a little bit of a hike, so we had to get the portage dolly out and load up the boat to get it down to the launch and get out on the water. Everything went well, and before you know it, we're heading on our way to go and check out this area of Central Florida on the St. Johns River. And this is a different kind of place. It's almost like you're transported to a different era. And you think back in the 1800s, early 1800s, into the early 1900s, there would have been steamships working up and down this part of the river, bringing people and goods into and out of the area. And it is a beautiful place out here.
It's what?
It's a beautiful place out here.
Yes, it is. All but the alligators.
I like the alligators too.
Huh?
I like the alligators too.
I mean, the alligators, when they're on a bag, yeah, they're really pretty. They're on boots. They're really pretty. But when you sit on the bank or swimming in the water, no, they're not.
Now, in addition to alligators, this area is just loaded with wildlife. We saw not only some wild turkey, we saw deer, raccoons, a gopher tortoise as it made its way through our camp, not once but twice. This fellow came by, hanging out just kind of for a quick visit. And then, during the evening, we'd look down, and this party was going on our ground mat. Not sure what what kind of stick bug this is, but it's obviously these guys are engaged and having a really, really fun time here at the site. Wow. And also, down at the launch we got back, the place was covered with vultures. I'm glad they were there then and not when we were headed out. Now, I want you guys to help me make sense of this sign. Now, this is out in the St. Johns. I say this because we saw a lot of what I thought were violations. It looks like between October and April, it's like slow speed everywhere. And then in the warmer months, you can run a little faster in the channel, but everywhere outside of the channel, take your time. One of the really cool things about this part of the St. Johns River is you don't know what you're going to run across, and that is certainly a given. this was a pretty funny exchange for me while all this was going on with Brooke. Now we came down to see manatees, hopefully see some of this, what this area is known for. And I'm not sure we saw one, but I led her to believe that she missed one. I'm going to see it right up here.
Ooh, manatee.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I think it was a gator. But here we are making our way into the actual Blue Spring run.
You want to trade sides?
Huh?
Trade sides?
And we had to paddle in here. There's no kind of motor, electric or otherwise allowed in this area. And this part of the run, that the St. Johns River is kind of pushed back into the spring here. So the water is really dark. And right up on the hill there in this area, you see the Thursby House. This was made famous by the guy that was here growing oranges back in the day. He also did some shipping out of here on steamships. But look, as we cross this area, it's just like somebody flipped on a switch.
Oh, there we go.
And we're looking
Look at there.
down into an aquarium. Just beautiful. Beautiful. And you could see just like being in a bathtub. All kinds of fish in the area here.
There's a gar. Mullet.
Now, just a little bit about the spring. The spring closes at the end of October for the manatee season. You can't swim or boat or anything in this area after the 1st of November until I think it's April. But right here at the end of October, it was still warm, and there were a lot of folks who were still swimming in the spring and having a really good time. Again, it's just beautifully fresh water. And then we're going to give you guys a look down below. Now the white structure, the pipe that's over there, is part of a monitoring device for water flow, water level, rate, all that kind of stuff coming out of the spring. They monitor, and that's some of their equipment that's there. But here you guys go, and I give you a chance to kind of take a look underneath in the spring water and see what it looks like. Just look how clear that water is. I know we saw mullet, we saw gar, we saw catfish, and some other crazy looking fish that's in there. Looked like a spadefish almost. If you know what the name of that fish is, let me know in the comments. This spring is a magnitude 1. It's the largest spring that feeds the St. Johns River. Just so much natural beauty surrounding this entire area because it's kind of, there's just no development in there or anything, and it's really like stepping back into old Florida in this area. Beautiful place. Someplace I certainly will come back to. Now this was really neat. We off of one of the cuts that we went through, that was just lined with bird houses. I want to go back and do a video on just this little stretch right here of just these bird houses. There must have been 50 to 60 or 70, and people take out and they hang from the trees in there. It's a really narrow kind of little narrow run that cuts through, and it was another surprise. And I want to share this, go back and do a little better video on just these bird houses that are in here. Obviously, they have to take them in on kayaks or paddle boards or something. And of course, we did a video on the tugboat Tiger that's currently waiting for restoration in the St. Johns. It was actually built there in DeLand, not far from the Blue Springs State Park. Of course, being down in October, you never know what you're going to see. Look at the skeleton here on the back of the pontoon. And this is the head of the spring. You can kind of see that water kind of boiling up there. That is where the spring starts, and it drifts back from there into the St. Johns River. Well, guys, as always, it's so much fun to go on these adventures, and I really enjoy the opportunity to kind of bring you guys along and just kind of show you some things that we run into when we're not doing what we usually do on YouTube. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And as always, we want to say, hey, you guys be safe out there.